Wow.
You all good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Video games cause the
Terrible.
violence.
We were just back at ICC and we didn't see you here,
the
so I
lack
just wanted to
thereof
check.
for that one.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I'm not
Jeez.
loving being at the house recently, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Because the Emperor.
It's because I feel like
We gotta try. Are you proud of yourself?
everyone has a fucking problem with me.
I don't think anyone has a problem with you except for the Emperor.
Yeah.
But I know you probably feel like everyone's against you. But just because we don't agree with you or anything like that doesn't mean we're against you.
That's not that, Bjorn. It really feels like I am just the fucking bad guy. And no matter what I do, I've done something that is... I don't even know how to explain it. I genuinely don't know how to explain it. I talk for the guild. I make deals without consulting everyone. I genuinely
is this
don't
all coming
know.
from the Emperor?
No, it's coming from an hour-long convo I had with Fifi. And, like, I don't even know where to begin. I genuinely don't.
Sounds like we need to have like a full guild meeting with everyone in the guild.
I don't want to have a fucking meeting. Because I feel like I'm getting treated like shit. And I don't know why. And I don't care to know why.
Well, who in the guild do you think is treating you like shit?
I don't know. Every other day, I have to hear about some stupid shit Lando said. Fifi thinks that I speak for the guild because I don't even know what I do when I literally have arguments about having to talk to everyone to do anything. So I don't know how I can speak for the fucking guild. I get told I made the fucking magazine deal with Speedy without consulting anyone, as if we didn't have a giant meeting about it before
most of us
anything
knew about
was
the
said.
magazine deal, and I think the thing where you're saying where like you speak for the guild, I feel like that's just the Emperor kind of twisting it a little bit because the Emperor. What happened was, what I feel happened with that is the Emperor and you would talk to each other, and then the Emperor would assume that whatever you're saying went for the whole guild, and then when he realized it wasn't, he acted like it was you trying to speak for the guild, but I think it was just him taking it as it was the whole guild.
Oh, it's not even an Emperor thing. Fifi thinks I do it too, and sure, like the shit with the Aztecas, yeah, I did do that. Like, but it's not like I fucking went there. Like, it was just me and one of the dudes that leads it. It's not like it was a big fucking deal. It's not like we were having a real official meeting either. When we had the real official meeting, when they had their decision, everyone was there with guns on their back.
I'm not sure what specifically Yeager is referring to then.
I don't know either. But every time I hear something and then I ask you guys about it, I don't get a fucking answer and everything's fine. But then the next day comes and I get another fucking conversation about it. Or maybe something different. It's just, I'm fucking sick of it. It feels like everything I do is under some fucked up microscope.
I mean, I definitely think that's probably true for the Emperor, like, watching everything you do, but I don't think that's true for the guild.
Yeah, it's a Yaeger's world, Bjorn.
You keep saying that, but the only one that said that is Lando, and he's literally said that for years.
Yeah, but why would he even bring it up? At what point in a conversation does that come up?
I don't remember.
And why did no one say that he's fucking stupid?
Well, that's because a lot of times there are people that dismiss the rest of the guild for you.
But that's not a me thing.
I know. But that's why we don't immediately, that's why no one else shot that down, is because we can relate to that. Even if it's not your fault, it still makes, it still resonates with us. And that isn't your fault, I agree.
I don't know. Like I get it, right? It just feels like everyone has a fucking issue with me, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I mean, I think I've been very transparent of like what my issue are with is just like specifically Simone stuff, but like I said, nothing has happened to me that like changes how I look at you or anything. And yeah, me and you don't agree on stuff all the time. It happens, but that's okay. Oh. And I know you probably feel like you're getting ganged up on because a lot of people don't agree with you, but you know, it doesn't mean we don't care about you, or we don't like you, or we don't want you around, or anything like that. We're gonna have disagreements, and we always have, and we always will, but, you know, everyone still wants you around.
It's not just a disagreement, Bjorn. It's... I don't know. It's like if I don't even know how to fucking explain it. Just so much shit. The last 5 days have been fucking miserable. It's just actually fucking miserable. And I can't even fucking remember half the shit because I think I try to block it out of my fucking brain. But all I know is that it feels like shit. And I'm tired of feeling like shit.
Well, I think the only way it'll get better is if you talk to everyone.
I've talked to, I feel like almost everyone. That's all I fucking do is talk. And nothing changes. It's like the only thing that'll fix everything is if I say, yeah, I was wrong, you were 100% right, when I know that is fucking stupid. It's like I have to apologize for things that I haven't fucking done. And I will never fucking do that.
I think Eve might be feeling the same way as you. I tried to talk to her earlier and she just ran away from me and left ICC.
Well, yeah, I talked with you. You guys fucking ditched her.
When?
She probably feels like shit.
We didn't ditch her. We've literally been here
did.
all day.
You guys were in a meeting room, the Emperor came by, and then one by one you guys left, and Eve never got the call to come over.
Yeah, the Emperor refused to talk to her.
That's ditching her, though. That is
so what do we do then? So then we either ignore talking to the Emperor and telling him that there's a fucking missile that could blow us all up, or we don't quote unquote ditch Eve.
You can tell him that. You can tell him that. It's not like she doesn't fucking know.
Yeah, and how are we supposed to not ditch Eve, quote unquote ditch Eve, and tell him that?
Tell the Emperor to get over it.
Oh, that would work, right? Yeah, let me tell him, get over it, and then he would just say, okay, and we would go about it. That would definitely work. Got any better ideas?
It's a problem when I do it, but the Emperor can, right?
What do you mean it's a problem when you do?
If I were to walk away and not entertain a conversation because of something that annoyed me, it's a fucking problem. But the second the Emperor does it, or the second that you think the Emperor might want to do that, it's not an issue, and you have fucking
say when you have done that, when that has happened in this scenario. You're just making up a scenario that doesn't apply.
I'm not making up a scenario.
It hasn't happened, so yes.
I'm telling you, literally based on last night when I tried to walk away from you guys fucking screaming at me, you guys gave me shit for it.
Who is you guys?
You, Fifi, Eve, anyone that was yelling at me in that fucking room, Lando.
You were walking out in the middle of a conversation. That's different than the scenario that happened today with the Emperor.
You didn't include Eve because you thought that the Emperor would just say fuck it and leave, correct?
No, the Emperor literally said, I will not talk to Eve. So what do we do then? Should I not tell him about the missile? What do I do?
You say, Emperor, there's a missile you need to know about. Get over it.
Yeah, because that would work.
He's a part of the guild.
And he doesn't trust her right now. We can't make him trust her. Like, there's no way in the world you can think that telling the Emperor something like that will ever go anywhere.
Eve knows. Like, what's there to hide?
So then what's the problem with her not being in that conversation if she already knows?
Left out, Bjorn. That's
okay, that's on the Emperor. We can't do anything about that, can we?
That's on the people there that didn't tell him to get the fuck over it.
I disagree, because what you're saying is not going to happen. If we tell him to get the fuck over it, you think he's going to get over it? Like, what do you think is going to happen? You think things are going to get better if we tell him that? You think it'll get better for us and Eve if we tell him that?
No.
I don't think anything would get better from us doing that.
Yeah, but entertaining this fucking bullshit pettiness is stupid. Just tell him the shit that needed to be told and tell him to get over his fucking problems.
Again, that won't work. Like, what you're saying does not work. Like, it's not happening.
Okay. I understand.
And you know what? He has a reason not to trust Steve if you really want to get into it.
Yes. The Nicholas Simone shit, that was very fucking serious. I get it.
Yes?
I don't understand.
You think this isn't serious? You think this isn't serious?
Should we kick Eve from the guild, Bjorn?
No, and you know what? I told the Emperor that just because he doesn't trust her, we still do, and she is still family. But guess what? Telling him that doesn't change how he views it. And guess what?
Yes.
If we try to force him to give a shit about Eve, what do you think will happen? If we try to force him to get over it, what do you think will happen? Do you think it'll help or hurt?
I think it would hurt.
I do too. I do too. Because I don't like this either. I don't know. I don't know what you think, but I don't like this either. I don't want Eve to feel bad. I don't want her to feel left out. But you know how I know how the Emperor is, and what could I do in that scenario to make it better? If I try to push back on the Emperor, it will get worse for Eve.
My answer to that is let it get worse, because it can get as worse as it can fucking get. But as long as she thinks and feels that she has a family to come back to, that's more important than the Emperor being fucking angry at her.
But it's not gonna stop. Like, what do you think is gonna keep happening? And then what happens if they get worse and then she gets fired from Cerberus? How do you think she'd feel about that? That's literally everything to her, is that job and working for the Emperor and Cerberus. And if things get worse for her, then what happens when the Emperor fires her?
I don't know, Bjorn. I
don't either, and I don't have the answer, but telling the Emperor something like that never helps. It would not help us, and it would not help Eve.
But it doesn't help. It makes Eve feel like shit, Bjorn. If you want to make the argument
I can't control what the Emperor does. If he doesn't want to talk to her, what can I do?
You don't fucking accommodate him.
So, by what? I don't speak to him? What do? I just don't talk to him?
Get over it. We need to tell you something.
Again, that doesn't work. What if if I tell him to get over it? Like, what? You think
he's just going to make Eve feel like shit till she quits the fucking guild?
Oh, what? So if I have a private conversation with the Emperor that she can't be in, then she's just gonna feel like shit?
It wasn't a private convo. It was all of you.
It
You were
was a
all
private convo. First
you
off, the
were all-
convo started with me and him, and everyone else just joined later.
Okay, let me paint the story of what she told me. Okay, I'm gonna use the word everyone because it's easier. Maybe you weren't there, but everyone was in a room together. Okay.
Me, Alex, Eve, and Yeager were in the theater room, and Alex was about to tell us what was happening with the Igor stuff that they learned earlier today. The
You
Emperor
guys were
called.
all in a room. The Emperor came over, and one by one, everyone left, but Eve. And Eve just fucking left because it was obvious what was happening. And no one, after the fact, called her to even tell her or ask her about how she fucking felt about it. The only person that did was Alex.
Oh, do I need to call everyone in the guild every time we have a meeting and ask about their feelings? Is that what it's come to? I've got to babysit everyone.
When it makes them feel like shit, yes.
And why did this happen? Because she did something to lose the Emperor's trust. Her actions led to this.
Did you lose trust in her?
No, I went outside to have a one-on-one with the Emperor to tell him about the missile and move on. And what? They just walk out to talk to. What am I supposed to do? Like what? I told Yeager I was going out to talk to the Emperor, he didn't want to talk to Eve. I didn't know what to do, so I was going to go try to talk to him. I went out to talk to him to tell him about the missile, and like you said, eventually people just walked over to us. What do I do then, huh?
I mean, like I said, I don't think there's a great answer, but I do not think what happened was a good one.
After that, I tried to go up to Eve to talk to her. She sounded sad. I tried to talk to her. She didn't say anything to me, ran away, and left ICC.
I mean, yeah.
Well, so
Can
what?
you blame her?
Well, okay, well, you're saying that... So what am I supposed to do in this scenario? Not check up, like... What is the answer then? You're talking about that no one checked on how she was. I literally tried to talk to her and she runs away. So what am I supposed to do?
Okay, well, she didn't say you tried to check on her.
She literally said, hey, she sounded really sad. I walked over, tried to start talking to her. She ignored me, turned around, walked away, got in a vehicle, and left ICC without saying a word to me.
Well, she didn't fucking say that you tried to reach out to her, okay? She told me the only person that called her was Alex.
I don't want her to feel this way, but I also understand why the Emperor doesn't trust her. That doesn't mean I want the Emperor treating her like shit, and doesn't mean I'm gonna, because I've told the Emperor that just because he doesn't trust people doesn't mean that means I don't trust them. I had the same conversation with him today about Andy, because apparently Uncle D wants us to force Andy to choose a side. And I told him that just because he doesn't trust Andy doesn't mean we don't trust her and care about her.
I mean, good.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Very happy that you said that, actually. But you have to understand that Eve feels fucking outcasted right now because she feels like she doesn't have fucking anywhere to go.
I don't like the Emperor doing that either, but like I said, I understand why he doesn't trust her. I don't think that means he should be shitty towards her, but we know how the Emperor is, and it's bound to happen. But what can I don't know what to do if I need to talk to the Emperor about stuff, and then he refuses to talk to someone, and they're going to get mad at me for talking to him.
I'm not mad at you.
Well, no, I'm referring to Eve getting
mad.
upset about that, which I don't want her to be excluded from those, but it's either I have the convo without Eve or it doesn't happen.
I understand in this circumstance, it's a bit different, all right? I get it with what's at stake, okay? But it keeps happening. I can't believe Eve even wants to be in the fucking guild anymore, if I'm being completely honest with you. Like, it really does feel like she is getting treated like shit a lot.
But what has anyone in the guild done to treat her like shit?
She did bring it on herself to some extent with the fucking Nick shit, okay? Like, that's for sure a thing. For sure. But I just don't. Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna die.
You okay? Where you at?
Hey, I'm fine. I don't know, Bjorn. God,
That sounds
so much
unfair.
fucking talking. I can't. I have good points to make, but it's just so much fucking talking and so much info. I just fucking forget about it.
It's okay. I do it sometimes too.
The point is, Eve feels like shit and outcasted, and I don't want that. And I'm willing to tell the Emperor to get over it. And
but
I want other people to be willing to say this too.
But it's pointless because you say that like it will mean anything. Like telling him that matters. Like, what does it do? He won't get over it, and he will just take offense to it. It's literally just a negative. There is no positive in whatever theory you have of being able to tell the Emperor get over it. Like, it accomplishes nothing.
I understand, but how can you, like, you understand, like, if you were talking to Eve right now, you're basically saying, hey, you know, you're welcome for me treating you like shit.
How have I treated her like shit?
It makes the Emperor not hate you as much. That's
but
essentially what you're saying.
Are you trying to say that because she got excluded from this meeting, we were treating her like shit? Like, is that fair?
Yes, I
disagree. I disagree with that.
It's fair to say that.
I think it's fair to say that her getting excluded from that meeting is a consequence of her own actions, whether she likes to believe it or not.
The Romeo and Juliet joke about Nick.
Oh, the joke? You mean where she's basically in love with Nick?
He's not in love with Nick. Eve told me that she told the Emperor that he's on his side and has never ever said she was on Nick's side and made a stupid joke that everyone took serious. And it's unfair to me after hearing the Emperor say his little fucking tests on Eve have always been jokes except for the one he did a few days ago.
What real test has he put her through? What do you mean, like, what are these little tests you guys keep bringing up? What? Because I remember one test that some of the guild has had to do a long time ago.
A year and a half ago.
Explain what real test Eve has gone through.
A year and a half ago. The real test is the one that happened 2 days ago.
Yeah, because, and guess what? That one is warranted because of what's going on. When things get to this point, life or death, loyalty tests, I think, are okay. And you know what?
That's fine,
him loyalty testing at this point is okay to me.
That's fine. But a year and a half ago, when the Emperor made her choose between him and the guild, like...
Define made her choose, though. Like, what? They just had a conversation. She said, oh, you have to choose? Like, that's not a real test. What we went through is a real test.
Okay. But it makes her feel like shit, Bjorn.
Yeah, and that's not okay, but you can't play it up like...
it's real to her.
But that is... Just because it doesn't make her feel good or it makes her feel bad doesn't make it some real loyalty test. It's probably just a conversation they had on the way to their next business meeting. Like, oh, choose me or the guild.
He made it a big deal.
By what?
This wasn't just in passing.
Did he make her stab Nancy, choose Nancy or me, or she dies? Like, what real test? Just words? Like, hey, you have to choose?
It doesn't matter if it's just
words. It does matter.
Bjorn. Are we just ignoring the fact that I'm telling you it made her feel like shit?
Yes, because I said that's not okay. It's not okay that she felt bad about, but that doesn't make it some big loyalty test like you're making it out to be.
It's not just yeah, this makes me feel a bit bad. It's not like that. When the Emperor goes to her and say, you have to choose between me, you have to choose your loyalty, me or the guild, okay? Like, do you understand that fucks with someone? And the Emperor saying it's a fucking joke, it's not very fucking funny, is it?
No, I agree with you.
Eve calls me fucking crying, and a year and a half ago,
here's the thing, you're arguing about the wrong thing. I agree that it's
about the wrong thing.
I agree that it's not okay that he does that. I agree that it's not okay that made her feel bad.
That's the fucking test.
But it's not a real loyalty test.
You have to say that you are loyal to him, and I don't know how the fuck she proved it. I don't know if she did. I don't know. It's a fucking joke apparently, but it didn't feel like a joke to her.
So she didn't. So did she even? What did she? You don't even know what she did. Like, did she have to do something to prove it? Then what did she do?
She had to tell the Emperor something that I didn't want her to tell him. That's something that happened, I think. Something to where, like, I don't know. The thing yesterday was, the real one was, Eve had to tell the Emperor that Michael was hanging out at the house, right? Which I don't fucking care about. I told Eve this to her. I told Eve myself that it is annoying that if something were to happen, I can't fully trust you, right? But it's the Emperor, so I don't really give a fuck, right? That's basically what I said. Because I didn't care.
Jesus.
Does that make sense?
I mean,
still annoying. It's still annoying that
I have been under...
Eve puts the Emperor above us. That is annoying to me.
I agree. And guess what? A week ago, when the Emperor asked me, would Eve choose me or the guild? I told the Emperor that Eve would choose him over us. Because that is what I have believed this whole time, is that Eve would choose the Emperor. And I haven't liked it. But here's the thing. At least it's the Emperor, not some dumb fuck on the south side or someone it's the fucking Emperor.
I agree, and I agree with you. I would say the same shit. I would say the same shit. When Eve has told the Emperor something I didn't want her to tell him, she's called me fucking crying about it, feeling like shit, because she feels like she's fucking betrayed me or betrayed the guild. I'm sick of having her fucking crying over some stupid shit from the Emperor. Eve's not a part of Talon, okay? She's not. She was not our original guild member. She's not a part of Talon. She doesn't know anything about it. But she's still the fucking guild.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have defended her a lot to the Emperor too, and just like the other day when I told you Harry acted like he hurt her, I jumped in the car, grounded up everyone, and we went looking. I don't want anything to happen to her, and I don't want her to feel this way, but there are consequences to her actions, and she can't be super surprised when the Emperor, if he feels this way. I don't completely agree, and I don't think that gives him a right to make her feel like shit. But the Emperor makes us all feel like shit sometimes, and we can't sit around and babysit each other like how the Emperor is gonna make each of us feel, because that's who the Emperor is. He gives us shit all the time.
Look, I don't disagree, but to me, I'm not gonna let the Emperor bitch around one of the guildies anymore. That ended with fucking Meow. It ended. Meow had to die, okay? So it was easy. Okay, easy's not the greatest word for it.
But
it had to happen.
But that's not like it's not even a conversation. Nothing's gonna happen to Eve.
Sometimes I don't feel that way, Bjorn.
None of us would let anything happen to Eve. Even if we're pissed at her or like lose a little trust, I would not let Harry or the Emperor or anyone do anything to Eve.
Sometimes I feel like it's literally just a phone call away.
I've told the Emperor, I think 2 days ago, the same thing that I'd said about Andy, where Emperor, just because you don't trust Eve, she is still guilty and she is still family, and we would not want anything to happen to her. And it's the same for me. I will tell you, I trust Eve less right now than I did maybe a month ago. That doesn't mean I don't care about her. That doesn't mean I don't trust her. But that doesn't mean, like, I'm not going to feel a kind of way, and there might not be consequences for what happened, which could lead to stuff like the Emperor not wanting to talk to her in that meeting, which, like you said, was something she already knew, and it didn't even matter.
I get it, right? Again, I get it. Sometimes things are bigger and more important than one individual could be. Okay, I'm not stupid, Bjorn. I understand this point, but you also have to understand that when you're in a room full of people you consider your family, and they all one by one leave you because, admittedly, another family member doesn't fucking want you there, it feels like shit.
I don't
And
disagree.
it probably makes you feel like you don't fucking belong.
But if it wasn't for her actions, would that have happened?
Again, you say her actions, but she said it was a joke, right? So
You say that like that's the whole thing, like that's the only thing that happened or makes her look sus. Like that's...
I don't know the other things. The only thing I know is that she was saying some stupid Romeo and Juliet shit about Nick. That's the only thing I know.
Well, maybe you should ask the Emperor then, because it sounds like you don't even know completely why he distrusts her.
I mean, can you give me a TLDR? Because I'm not talking to the Emperor.
Frick, I'm trying to remember
Whatever,
exactly what it was.
You don't have to tell me.
I'm pretty sure they wanted her to stop talking to Nick, and she just kept doing it behind their back, and they caught her in it. And I don't think that was the only thing, but that was one of them. And I mean, the whole thing with her disappearing for the whole day right after Nick came here looking for you with a weapon and didn't tell anyone, and then she lied about her reasoning for leaving. That's more reasons too. She told some people that she just wanted a day off from work, but then she told Yaeger that she was leaving because of the Simones.
I mean, what does that have any correlation with?
I mean, she knew Nick was here with a weapon looking for you and told no one, disappeared, ditched her cell phone for the whole day, and lied to people about why she was leaving right after the person that she's claiming that she's in a relationship with comes hunting you with a weapon. How is that not a big deal?
She knew Nick was looking for me with a weapon?
She was here at the house when Nick came here. Her and Yaeger are the ones that saw Nick here. And then she didn't tell anyone.
Didn't know either.
She didn't. Fifi knew he was here, yeah.
But Fifi didn't tell anyone either, though. Or sorry, Fifi didn't know either.
I mean, I think Fifi was the one that told us.
Fifi didn't know that he was looking for me. From what I understand, is that Fifi let him in, obviously not knowing he was there to kill me. So I don't understand why Eve would know either. Is it because they talk? Because Andy called me and said that the reason Nick came after me was because she was having a conversation with him, and she told him that if you go to bat with Lang in the guild, that she's not choosing a side, like she's not going to help him. And Nick took that as I went and threatened Andy about not helping him, and immediately tried to go find me.
I was under the assumption that she knew Nick was here with a weapon looking for you. And by assumption, I mean someone told me that. I can't remember who.
I can't imagine that that's true.
I mean, that's literally why we were freaking out on that day, is because she just decided to, and she lied about her reasoning for leaving too.
I mean, that just seems like she was fucking tired of all this shit and wanted to just chill. I don't think she was lying because she wanted me to die.
I mean, I don't think it is reasonable with all of this going on and her relationship to Nick to disappear for a day and ditch your cell phone. It's not, that alone is sus.
I mean, is it suspicious though when you have picked your side? Like what?
I mean, how do you say she has picked her side when at the time she's still talking to Nick every day?
Because it's the same thing with me. Just because I talked with Michael doesn't mean I wasn't with the Emperor. I told the Emperor as much. I told him several times that if it came down to it, I'm on his side. and I would kill Michael. But just because I talked with the guy doesn't mean that that was a lie. Again, I'm yelling. I'm not meaning to. It just
It's okay.
reminding me of this shit gets me agitated.
I don't know. Everything from that day, from my end, seemed really sus of Eve. It just, a lot of stuff seemed really off and didn't make sense.
Look,
But like I said, that doesn't mean like I don't care about her, but I can't change how I feel. I can't change that I like lost trust a little
you can
bit.
change how you feel by having more information. And I cannot imagine Eve knew Nick Simone was looking to kill me and then said, none of my business, and threw her phone away and went into the fucking mountains. I think that is stupid. I don't believe that's what happened. I would die before I think Eve would do that to me.
Okay, so let's say it's better than that, and Eve knew that Michael was here, but she didn't know he was out to get you and didn't tell anyone. Is that not still bad?
You mean Nick?
Nick, yeah, I always called them the wrong name. Let's say Nick was here without a weapon in hand, and he just walked around looking for you in the middle of everything that's going on. Is that not important?
I would have to know the timeline because my answers would depend. After he shot the Emperor, yes.
Yes, this was after the Emperor was shot. Yes, this was after.
After he shot the Emperor, it would be dumb not to tell anyone that Nick was around the house. 100%, I agree. But I don't think it's maliciously bad, right?
Well, that's best case scenario.
But it's still bad.
That's best, okay. And that's best case scenario, right? Is what it sounds like. So best case scenario, it's still bad.
I mean, I think best case scenario would be Eve knew and Fifi knew, and Eve just thought Fifi would tell everyone. That's the best case scenario.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like again, it would be bad, yes.
But so that, I mean, that is how that portion looked to me, is that at the very least she knew Simone was here looking for you in the middle of this and didn't tell anyone. And like you said, maybe it is as simple as she thought Yaeger, but the thing is, Yaeger's been talking to us every day, and I can't remember what Yaeger said about this, but it didn't seem like that was the case.
Well, look, I'm gonna get my car repaired. Thank you for talking with me. And shit.
Sorry, we got all of our talks lately are just fighting and yelling.
Look, I'm used to it at this point. So, I think you should talk to Eve. And maybe you don't have to do it right now, but she's feeling like shit. And if I had to guess, Outcast it. So if you do care about her, you should talk to her.
I'll try again today or tomorrow.
Alright, I'm getting my fucking car repaired.
Alright, you still got warrants?
I don't know.
Are you on our radio?
Yeah.
Alright, just radio if you need like help or pickup. I'll be on radio and I'll be near my car.
Alright, well, we're gonna see soon because I'm getting my shit repaired at the cop repair place.
Okay, if you get in a chase, just let me know. I'll set up your bike in the like the red or white garage for you if you need.
Alright, I'll call you soon.
Alright, catch you later.